The following episode of All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com, The Bry, was pre-recorded. Thank you so very much for stopping by.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
Oh, but that is.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Welcome, and thank you for stopping by. I have to tell you, it is a little surreal, but I want to thank you nonetheless for stopping by and hanging out. What is now the 457th episode of the #1 rated All Natural Being, and of course, the gong heard round the world. Now, this is pre-recorded, I promise, with you in mind. And even though it's taped, hands down, it's still your snooze alarm's sworn enemy. Radio that sparks your smart. Broadcasts that work to build your strong and unleash your legendary. Because make no mistake, if you're still here, you're still vertical. You still have a legend to let loose. And we're simply serving up the very best thoughts in the history of thinking. So what do you say? Here's your opportunity to mortal up, to crush your cant and your critics. It's time. So let's go kick in some doors. And as I said, a little bit surreal this morning because I'm recording episode 457, having just got off the phone with the good folks at the Columbus Cranium Shack and Needle Emporium. You may know it as the Columbus Cranium Shack and Drug Hut, where I will be. By the time you're listening to this, they'll be giving me the 10 count. The little mask that they put over your face. Excuse me, that little mask they put over your face and tell you to count backwards by 10. By the time you're listening to this tomorrow, you'll know. You can say to yourself, oh, really? What's going on? Yes, this will be playing right as I get ready to go under the Dremel. So it's kind of surreal, really, that I'm recording this, but I wanted to give you a sense of some of the things. What do I know? What do I be going through tomorrow morning? But now that I've been doing this will be my 5th brain surgery. I have a little bit of an idea what's going to go on. But I wanted to record this show today as we will, 457, so that makes Wednesday 58, Thursday 59. Oh, Friday 460th episode will be recorded. And I want to mention this quickly. Probably not for this show because it's too, it's going down as we speak, probably till soon. But Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday's show, I want to talk about a new segment that we're doing called Molly and Jen. Now, Molly and Jen is designed. So Molly, who will be watching out for me, right? Kind of like, I guess you could call her like a guardian angel in real life. She'll be watching out for me here. And then from the IPM Nation home studios on the East Coast, Jenny Coffey will be watching out. So the segment is called Molly and Jen. And what happens in that segment is you'll get an update if you want one, right? It's up to you. But you'll get an update of how the surgery went, what's going on. So I suspect our first, at least, video update, audio update, if you will be Wednesday morning. So 24 hours from the time that you're hearing this, 24 hours and probably about 25 minutes. What we'll be doing is an update where Molly will keep Jenny abreast of everything that's going on, and Jenny will then the two of them will talk. It'll be recorded, and then they'll insert it at 25 after the hour. 5 minutes left in the show. They'll go ahead and, just give a little update as to what's going on as in real time as we possibly can. And I suspect Thursday's update will be a little quicker, Friday's update will be even quicker, and then who knows, maybe they let me out. I don't know. I said in this morning's show yesterday, if you're listening to it. So let's just agree for the next 20 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever it is. Let's just act like it's tomorrow already. So it's already the 21st, so that way I don't have to keep referencing back and forth. So yesterday in the show, I said, I hope I get out Friday night because it's the 2-hour, and I don't know if it's the season finale or not, but it's the 2-hour a 2-hour episode of The Blacklist. James Spader. Oh, yeah, we're in trouble. But James Spader's pulling for the real America, I guess. So, but in any event, be that were true. In any event, I'm hoping to at least be coherent enough, right? Most of you that know me go, you hoping for coherence? That's a big ask. But I'm hoping to be coherent enough to take in the 2-hour episode come Friday night. So, but what I wanted to do, and let me just say, thank you for everyone for the very gracious emails and the texts and the phone calls yesterday, everything leading up to this. Thank you for everyone and all the posts and everything else, everyone rooting for me. And I just wanted to add a little bit to what I said in yesterday's show, and that is that I have always been, since as far back as I can remember, a fan of the concept of thy will be done, right? I've said this before here on the show. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. And that is most certainly the case as I prepare to this one. I can tell you that I had a little bit of a dream, and people will go, really? You had a dream? Yes, I had a dream, and in this dream that I had, everything comes out smashingly. Now, in the dream, I couldn't see ahead to at least cognitively, intellectually, because one of the things, and maybe you find yourself in this position throughout the day, one of the things is you never know what your cognitive powers are going to be. You never know what your mind is going to be able to focus on. And one of the most humbling things about this experience, about 5 brain surgeries, brain surgeries to remove and then reverse the effects of a golf ball-sized brain tumor, is this whole thing of memory loss, this whole thing of amnesia. And I thought about it, and I was going to do a segment that said, what's the favorite thing you would do if you had amnesia, right? So that you could do it, forget you had done it, and then get to do it like Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. You do it, forget you had done it, and then get to do it all over again. But one of the most troubling things about it, and as you know, if you've been following the show, I wear this little bracelet that has my name, and what does it have here? It has my name, where I live, ballpark of where I live, my phone number, no morphine, right? If you haven't, I won't belabor you with that story now, but it's a mistake to give me morphine, apparently to knock me out, or morphine to help in terms of managing my pain, because it's just not the hallucinations that I have while under the grip of morphine. Apparently I love them, or maybe I don't love them. Maybe I'm terrified by them, but the people around me most certainly don't like to have to deal with me when I've been given morphine. So it has a little thing with little bells and whistles. No morphine, no morphine. So I have this because of the amnesia. And what I thought we would talk about today, I touched on it a little bit yesterday about, unless you're oriented in the now, in this particular moment in all of time, if you're not oriented in the now, then you leave yourself set up to be pulled outside of this moment, pulled outside of your ability to identify the fingerprints of Providence, which set you up, I believe, perfectly. I look back over my life, everything that's happened in my life has happened as it should have. Right? As it, at the very least, as it did. Fate doing what it can to bring the chop block. I then, as are you, are responsible for standing and saying, okay, great, I'll tell you what, here we go. Here's what's going to happen. Here is my counterpunch, right? That's what we want to do. So with that in mind, I look at it and go, okay, square your shoulders, stare it down, kick its ass. Always the same thing. 3 very simple steps, if you will. 3 very simple plans. That's all I ever do. Square your shoulders, stare it down, kick its ass, because you want to bring the counterpunch. That's what you're responsible for whatever fate does in your life to derail you, for whatever fate does in an attempt to just create chaos in your life. Know that it's the human ability to stand and bring the counterpunch. That what's life is all about, let's say, right? Because we can't control the chaos. And I even look at people and they say, oh, would you like a 12-step program for curing the chaos in your life? No. Because of that old saying, what is it? The angel rides the whirlwind and directs the storm. It's within the chaos that you find the fingerprints of providence, the cognitive cairn, what happens in this particular moment in all of time that allows you to rise to the challenge at hand. And as I say from time to time, rising in the challenge of hand, someone asked me the other day, well, why is it always such a big deal that you have to be challenged? I believe, it's my estimation, that that's where you prove who you ultimately are. When you have the ability to apply your natural resources, right? Your grit, your agility, your stamina, your strength, right? That cognitive flexibility to be able to withstand anything, that's when you find out everything about yourself. So as we move forward in today's show, it's with the idea, well, one, there's no sense putting up the number to text or call because it's a recorded show. No one even knows that I'm doing this. But in our next show, I have a special guest calling in because I want to talk to you about numero uno, the number one thing that I will do in my post-op recovery, starting, the first thing will start Wednesday morning. So I thought this would be a great time to have him on. So in the next episode, which will be episode, 458, we will have a call-in guest. But this morning, you'll recognize there's no call-ins and there's no feed for me to throw it to. So it gives us a little bit more time to talk about what it is that happens to a human mind when it's challenged, and that mind has the opportunity to rise to that challenge, to the challenge at hand. Not cognitive couch potatoes. You and I aren't sitting back hoping, praying, petitioning that life is always easy, life is always great. And I dare say, think about it, some of the most challenging times in your life, maybe in that particular moment, you're too in to dealing with it to realize it. But shortly thereafter, when you look back, don't you go, yeah, you know what? That was pretty cool. I don't really mind that. That worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. Or you have the option of looking at it and going, I really surprised myself. I'm surprised at how I was able to handle that. I'm surprised at how I brought all my natural resources to bear in that particular moment in all of time. So why be hoodwinked? Why play the head games with yourself? Why allow yourself to buy in to this watering down of the ultimate human wherewithal? And if not at a collective level, then the ultimate human wherewithal that is yours. Your potential, just this side of unlimited, and your ability to truly chart the course, right, through the chaos, not outside of it, not a bird's eye view, not trying to fly over it, but welcoming the storm, welcoming the chaos, looking at it and going, look, I want to do everything I can to marshal my mental forces to pull off this particular moment. And it doesn't matter what fate attempts. It doesn't matter what the hurdles are. It doesn't matter, right? Every obstacle is an oracle. And it is, you can go, oh, I'd rather have the oracle Delphi. Well, there you go. But still, every obstacle being an oracle, that oracle is, right? What did she say way back when? Know thyself. Well, if you truly knew yourself, what room would there be for fear? What room would there be for worry if you truly knew yourself? And no matter what life throws at you, you knew you were up for the challenge. You knew that no matter what fate tried to do, you were going to bring the counterpunch. You think maybe that would put a smile on your face? Maybe putting your heart's highest priority top of the list? And as I said in yesterday's show, right? You put your heart's highest priority top of the list, and the universe goes, whoa, something's going on here. There's a disturbance. Hey, Yoda, there's a disturbance in the force. We think she gets it. We think this guy knows what's going on. So it is my contention, and now, right, probably like 5 minutes into Under the Dremel, it's my contention that when you do that, the universe repays you in kind. Right? It's like if someone constantly does something for you, you constantly hold the door for someone and they don't say thank you, they don't recognize you, don't do anything. Pretty soon you go, hold your own door, right? But what if the universe gets tired of sending you these cognitive cairns, these, as I call them, the fingerprints of providence, here within the labyrinth of life, the up, the down, the left, the rights, the pivots, the swerves, the flukes, the whims, the sheer brilliance, the sheer beauty of the synchronicity and serendipity of it all? What if here in the labyrinth, we're getting every clue, every secret, every fingerprint of providence we need to live a truly amazing life? But we get called out of this labyrinth because we got goals, we got dreams, we got wishes, we've got all these other things that we're busy waiting for. You know, what's the adage? The grass is always greener on the other side. But what if it weren't? What if the grass was never going to be greener than when you were standing right now, here, in this particular moment in all of time? What would you do? Right? What would your heart feel like? What would your head feel like? What would your body feel like if you could get the vibration of your heart and the vibration of the neurons within your own mind to vibrate on that same unique string? You know, and I heard someone say the other day that they were talking, what was it? It was a radio show somewhere, which makes me wonder, this whole radio thing. I think I like more and more being on the internet than being terrestrial radio, but we'll get to that at a later point. But one of these radio announcers that I happen to hear say, well, that's really sexist. And what they said was, oh, the soft voice in your head. And she goes, well, that's sexist. What, only the soft voice is only, it's just a female thing? And I couldn't disagree more. And I wish I would have been able to call in at that particular time, but, I'm driving and you don't want to text or talk and drive. So she said that she felt that it was sexist, that she was offended by it because the soft voice, she felt, was suggesting that it was somehow feminine. But the soft voice and the still small voice, it's the same voice. It's soft because it's not barking at you. It's soft because it's not screaming at you. It's soft because that voice, right? You, the satellite office for the universe itself, it's not going to use a bullhorn. Let's see, do I still get the bullhorn? Can I do this, speaker? It's not going to use a bullhorn. Not going to work that way. So that soft voice, that still small voice, is that voice that lets you know, hey, here's what's been set up for you in this particular moment in all of time. So I would offer that falling back on those moments, I would offer that trusting in yourself is the beginning to escaping the amnesia. And don't let anyone talk to you. My good friend, Pradeep Sangha, who says all the time that, he's got the malepodcast.com. He talks about the male energy. Well, there's a balance, the yin and the yang. The universe works with the balance of the two. And when everyone wants to convince you, oh, toxic masculinity, that's going to be the death of everyone. It's toxic sensitivity that's going to be the death of everyone. Right? Do you truly believe the universe expects you to be outraged, offended? Think about that word for a minute, offended. That you're mortified by the words of another human being? And I think what happens is that when people don't hear that soft voice anymore, when they don't hear that still small voice, it creates a vacuum. So then they start sucking in the voices of other people. They start sucking in opinion. They start sucking in all these other things that just don't belong in there. Let's do that. And that reminds me, speaking of a hole in my head, let's do this real quick and we'll be right back.
What's queued up in the cart? You have a heart. It has a passion. Making that pulse your priority is why you're here in the first place. I promise.
In the market for a winning mindset?
You've come to the perfect place.
IPMNation.com, The Bri.
IPMNation.com, The Bri. If you're in the market for a perfect mindset, well, let's hope this is it. One of the reasons that I'm underneath the Dremel right now as we hang together is that the doctor said, yeah, well, we think you could absolutely handle the leak, which means the ringing in the ears, the burning in the eyes, the horrible taste in my mouth, the swelling in the back of my head like a pufferfish, right? All the cool things that come from having a persistent spinal fluid leak. They're going, yeah, great. We think you can handle it. We're excited to say that you could absolutely pull that off. However, and here's the caveat, and this is what I think about when we don't hear that still small voice anymore. The doctors say, but we got to do this surgery now. We thought before maybe you could gut it out and, we'd check back in a few years and see what's going on. But here's the deal. After the myelogram, after they put me in this giant hamster wheel and spun me round and round and round, and they figured out where the hole was, they realized that the hole was of appreciable enough size that, yes, it was leaking, but they were also worried about things getting in. Infection, like a meningitis, something like that, that would get into the cavity inside of the dura where my brain is actually housed. So that it went from, oh yeah, maybe we should, maybe we will help with the headaches and that horrible taste and the ringing in your ears. And then they were like, yeah, no, we don't care about all those things. That's for you to manage. That's for you to medicate however you're going to do it. But we got to get you in here before an infection does. And that made me think that everyone sat up and took notice. Everyone was like, oh man, this hole was bigger than we think. It's created like a little vacuum. It's sucking all this stuff in. Well, maybe the absence. They're worried about me getting meningitis. Well, how about a mental meningitis? How about a philosophical meningitis? What do you think about that? Where because we can't hear that soft voice, because we can't hear that still small voice anymore, we're looking for a voice. We're looking for a vote. And what happens is that we start sucking in all the opinions outside of us. We start sucking in the committee vote. We're looking for every brother and their brother to give us a sense of what the truth is, what the thumbs up are, what the thumbs down are. And maybe because we're not attuned to that vibration within our own heart, that vibration within our own mind, maybe we've created our own vacuum and we pull in all this outside vote. So all I simply say is, hey, let's knock it off. Let's make it so that from now on, we're not busy listening to the committee vote. We're not busy taking it from all the walking, talking human pits of quicksand that are ready to grab you and tackle you and not allow your heart's highest priority to get to the top of your list. Oh, you're a hedonist. Oh, you're a narcissist. Oh, you're selfish. Oh, you're all into you. That's not the case at all. What if for just 20 minutes a day, 1/72nd of your day, you were to attempt this and go, yeah, I'm not going to listen to all those Venus fly traps. Human bodies with a Venus flytrap for a head that does everything it can to capture and corral your heart's highest priority. Maybe that's something we don't want to do anymore. But I've begun to believe, just like the hole in my head, they're worried about it sucking in, worried about it being a little vacuum, right? Nature abhors a vacuum. They're worried about it sucking in something that doesn't belong there. Well, what if the absence of that still small voice causes you to suck in an opinion that just simply doesn't belong there? I'm beginning to think that's it. So, as I'm under the Dremel, as we speak, to repair that, how about you and I work to repair that little philosophical vacuum that causes us to draw in the opinions of other people? Now, you can't live in a bubble. Believe me, I've tried. It was heavenly, though, up in Yellowstone, well below zero, sleeping in my own little tent, wolves running around, howling, carrying on, and everything else. That was a nice little bubble. But outside of that, we can't live in a bubble. But we don't have to be like these hot heads wrapped in thin skin where everything is an arrow, everything is something to suffer. You have your opinion, and I've said it countless times here. What if, right, just like my brain now and the hole in the back of my head doing everything it can to keep meningitis or to keep an infection out, what if you and I start looking seriously like people that want to give us a negative opinion? It's like, well, what can Brown do for you? Well, don't deliver it. Well, you got to sign for this package. If you don't sign for it, the driver at FedEx or any of the other companies, you don't sign for the package, they don't deliver it. It goes back on the truck and takes off till the next time they try. Well, you and I could do the same thing with the negative opinions of other people. We could say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to listen to that anymore. I'm not going to buy into that anymore. Maybe that's the thing we should look to do. Maybe that's the way to guarantee that that still small voice, that soft voice, like this nut on the radio station said the other day, oh, well, it's just a soft voice, so now you're talking about women? No, it has nothing to do with the sex. It has nothing to do with your male or female. I think that soft voice is soft because that's all the more you're going to get. It's never going to scream at you. It's never, oh, I want a sign, and then it hits you with a baseball bat. It's never going to work like that. It's going to be a soft voice because it wants to see if you'll slow down long enough from all the distraction, all the dreams, all the wants, all the goals, all the carrots at the end of the stick. It's there to say, hey, are you going to slow down long enough to hear what I have to say to you? That's what makes it a soft voice. And for those that say yes, and even when that soft voice gives you something that you think is too much of a challenge, for those that say yes, I'm going to slow down, I'm going to listen to that voice, I think those are the ones that are the most successful in life. And when you think about it, everyone and their brother, oh, let's learn meditation. There's an app, there's a headband, there's a wrist, there's a thing, all these other things that teach you meditation. Well, what if you just slow down long enough to listen to your own breath? Deep breath in, deep breath out. Our good friend, David Ray Bowman, and I have been talking for years about something that I wrote years ago called the BEST acronym. Breathe in, exhale your name, scan your immediate surroundings, and then take action. The BEST. Breathe in, exhale, scan your immediate horizon, your immediate situation, survey where your feet are in this particular moment and all of time, and then take action. Now, it's great philosophically, but it's also great physiologically, right? When you breathe in, your body stops this whole fight or flight thing. When you exhale your name, you have the presence of mind to know who you are in this particular moment, and that helps the body calm down. Now, another thing that I've learned about the physiology of it is when you scan, and I literally mean when your eyes look around, when you check everything that's going on around you, it defeats that tunnel vision, which just means that the body, right, once it gets tunnel vision, the body goes, hey, wait a minute, just all in our periphery shuts down, right? Even more reason for the fight or flight to kick in. So instead of deciding it's okay for your chemicals to use you, they're your chemicals. They work for you. It's your mind. It works for you. You don't work for it. So instead of stifling your breath, breathing real shallow, forgetting, I was so scared I didn't even know who I was. You ever hear that? I was so scared. Didn't even know who I was. Scan. You got tunnel vision. There's no scanning going on. You're not moving your eyes left, right, up and down. You're not looking around. And then all of a sudden we take action. How do we know that that's the best action, given the fact that we've just been hijacked by our own fight or flight chemicals? Breathe in, exhale your name, scan your horizon, move your eyes around, tell tunnel vision where to go, and then you take action. And that's why I think it's a soft voice, because it was never intended to scream to get your attention. Your intention has to be on that voice, and that's what makes it still. That's what makes it soft. The only question is, will you pay attention to it? All right, we're going to get ready to get out of here. Thank you again for listening to, and this might be my first ever taped show, but episode 457. Thank you so very much for joining me. And remember, we'll start tomorrow morning with Molly and Jen, our new segment, at least for a week or 2 or 3, however long that I end up here. However long I end up here in the Columbus Cranium Shack and Needle Emporium. So thank you so very much for making us number one, for keeping us in that number one slot here at IPMNation.com. Thank you for, and again, thank you for all the great notes, the Facebook posts, the messages, the tweets, all the phone calls, everything of yesterday, wishing me luck for today. And it will be what it will be, and I'm very excited about that outcome, whatever it turns out to be. I want to thank my good friend Wayne Noel, as always, for making sure that the show is up and running, and also Matt Connerton from IPMNation.com, and along with Jenny Coffey from IPMNation.com, that keeps everything moving in the right direction. So we will be back tomorrow morning with episode 458. Again, it will be pre-recorded. Some really great information about the very first thing I did when I came to. What was the very first thing I did? We'll be talking about that in episode 458. But until that time, thank you so very much. I truly appreciate it. And I'll look forward to seeing you a little further, hopefully not too much farther, but a little further down the road. We'll see you soon.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.